In section 8.1, we talked about the volume of cylinders. And volume is the space that is inside a three-dimensional shape. Now, we want to make sure that we utilize our reference sheet because we're allowed to use this on the air test. So if you take a look down at the reference sheet, a cylinder, its volume is equal to pi r squared h. So I'm actually going to write that up at the top of my page here. Volume equals pi r squared h. And you do not have to memorize that formula because you will be able to utilize this reference sheet on the test, like I said, as well as the air test. Now let's talk about what these different letters mean. V stands for volume. Pi is going to be the button in your calculator that is pi. And if we take a look at my calculator here, pi is the left button over here. R is the radius, and the radius is half of the diameter. So your radius will be on the circle piece, whereas your height will be how tall the cylinder is standing. Okay? Now, if I need to find the volume of each figure, let's just look at number 1. My volume is equal to, the pi symbol doesn't change. My r is my radius, and if my radius is half of the length of the circle, and it tells me that the whole length is 10, then my radius is equal to 5. So I'm going to put in parentheses 5. It needs an exponent of 2. And then I'm going to put in parentheses my height, and that's how tall my cylinder is standing. So that would be 6. Okay. From there, you just type all those buttons into your calculator. So it will be pi parentheses 5 squared parentheses 6. And that gives me 471.2. We will round to the nearest tenth. So volume equals 471.2. This is going to be feet, and volume is cubed, so feet cubed. This does not mean that you put your answer into your calculator and cube it. The label is feet to the third power, whereas sometimes the label might just be feet or miles or whatever, you know, one just unit. The label here is feet cubed. If we take a look at number 2, I'm going to start with my formula. V equals pi. My radius is half of the length of the circle, which is the portion that it's showing me, so it's going to be 9 raised to the second power, times my height, which is how high my cylinder is, so that would be 4. Go ahead and just type that right into your calculator. Pi parentheses 9, sorry you can't see, parentheses 9 squared, you could just use the button right here for squared, parentheses 4. So that's 1017.9 if we round correctly. 1017.9, and this is going to be yards cubed or cubic yards.